Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we working on a Stihl 4 mix. It's a FS90R, which it has a cultivator end on it. I haven't seen one of them on one of these. I see them on the older Stihls, but it's kind of unusual. Anyways, it sat in their shed for a couple of years. As you can see, it's all dusty and everything. So I'm sure we're gonna have to go through the carburetor, make sure the diaphragms are still flexible and stuff. See if we can't get this going for them so they can till their garden. So hope you enjoy the video. Well, before I start turning the carburetor, I'm gonna take the spark plug out. Just check it out, see how it's burning. Because sometimes, when people say they let it sit for a couple of years, you don't know if there might have been something wrong with it, why they quit using it, or maybe they didn't have a garden or something. You never know, but it's always good just to check the spark plug out just to see how it's burning and make sure it's not scored or anything. Plus, we're gonna end up putting a new plug in it anyway, so. It had no gas in it. I already put gas in it, and I tried it, and this kind of pops when the choke is on. I don't want to run. Plug don't look too bad, but we're gonna end up replacing that anyway. So let's go ahead and take the air filter off. And get that carburetor off. It's like the Torx. This has a two-stage air filter system on it. It has a foam outside and that kind of felt on the inside. You really need that, like on, well, I guess for tilling gardens because all that dust and everything in there. So it don't look too bad. I'll blow that out and everything. And it looks like a 5/16 or 8 millimeter. We'll take them two nuts off. Yeah, these 4 mix engines. It's a motor with valves in it, but you still have to use a 2-cycle gas. There's a vent hose on this. You can leave it on there, I guess. Take it out of the way, or you can pop it off. Fuel lines don't look too terribly bad. So we'll see when we take it off, see if they start falling apart. If they start falling apart, we'll replace them. This one, that gas and oil. Sit in these for a while, the gas evaporates and it leaves the oil, and sometimes it makes these hoses hard as a rock and brittle and stuff. This one here is really stuck on there. You can twist them back and forth. Got some pressure in there. Loosen the cap a little bit. Yeah, see it's split on the side here. A big tear in it. So we're definitely going to replace these fuel lines. And on this top one here, we'll kind of twist it back and forth. Can't break it loose, so we can slide it off. And then we're stuck on there. There we go. Okay, I'll turn this around. Show you how we unhook the throttle here. We'll lift that up. Get my hands out of here. And just pull down on the cable and pop it right on out of there. And the carburetor should slide right off now. But it's stuck. Oh, I see on the bottom, we have a hose on the bottom of the carburetor here too. That goes to the crankcase. That's what sends the pulses to the diaphragm. There we go. Okay, I'll clean that up a little bit before we tear it apart. And we're definitely going to replace these two lines because where we pulled them off, they split. So I'll clean that carburetor off and we'll tear the carburetor apart real quick. Okay, we'll start tearing it apart. I got it cleaned off. I found some Stihl fuel line on the shelf that we're going to use to replace some fuel lines. But this sat for a couple years, and usually what happens is the gas evaporates and it pretty much just leaves a film of oil behind. So if the gaskets and diaphragms and everything are good, we'll just wipe the oil off them and try it. If not, we'll just put a new carburetor kit in it. And as you can see here, there's a ring of oil right there. That's what's left. When it sits for a while, the gas evaporates. And there's a screen right there. That looks nice and clean. So I'm going to spray all these holes out and everything with carburetor cleaner. And I'll wipe the diaphragm off. Clean all these holes out. And I'll take the air hose and gently blow everything out. I cleaned all the holes out and everything. Let's check this. It's not even really stretched out. So we'll just try to clean this up once and put it together. And if it don't run, we'll put a kit in there. But just gently wipe the oil off everything. Here, I'll use a clean part of the towel here. See, that's that oil residue on there. On a lot of stuff, I put a lot of carburetor kits and stuff. And sometimes you don't need to. Just depends on how the diaphragms and everything look. Okay, let's take this side off. Check this side out. And if your primer bulb is stiff or cracked, this is a good time to change that too. This one still feels good. Well, see, that's nice and flexible right there. You push down, it comes right back into shape. So there's nothing wrong with that. And see right there, there's that oil residue right there. Okay. So that's your jet right there. I'll clean that out real good. I think this thing might run. Kind of anxious if it does because I'm gonna try it out in the garden if it works. Okay, we put this back on. There's a little hole right there. Need to line that up with that one right there, and just like so. Get these started to get them lined up. There's no pins on these that line them up like the wall burrows. Go ahead and snug them up. Just double check them. Okay. And here are your mixer screws right here. There's a little L on that side there. There's an H right under there. That's your low and high. And they got these stupid caps on them where only can turn them like about a half a turn or so. See, like this one here is your low. It's all the way right there. Like 3/4 of a turn. That's all you can turn it because it has these locks where it hits this thing here. I hate these things. And you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I like popping them off because I really like fine tuning these things up. So you gotta be very careful so you don't break the screw adjustment on these. If you do decide to take them off, but it's like pressed on there. See how it just popped off there? Then you can adjust it to wherever you want. There you go. You don't have to do this stuff. That way you can turn them whichever way you want. And a lot of times, depends on your elevation where you live too. They have these preset carburetors and stuff, but what if you live at sea level and if you live up in the mountains, it's not going to run the same. So, well, anyways, let's replace some fuel lines and get this carburetor back on there and see if we can try it out in the garden here real quick. Okay, to remove these fuel lines, these nipples here are plastic, so we gotta be very careful so we don't break them off. And how hard it was to come off the carburetor. Just gonna make a slit on them with the razor blade. And just gently pry them off. Just like that. See, they were plastic. You definitely don't want to break them off. So I'll grab the new fuel line, and we'll just measure these. We'll just measure them. And pop the new ones on. Now we'll do the other one. If you split them down the side, they pop right off. Well, these are getting old and brittle. And here's that other one we took it off the carburetor, split right there. And the same with that one there. We'll just kind of measure it up. We'll just slide that one on there. There. Put this extra hose back in the bag and use it for next time. Now let's go ahead and put that carburetor on. So this here that goes in that big vent tube in the back, that's what inside the motor when the pistons are going up and down, it sends a pulse, high and low pressure, and that's what activates the fuel pump diaphragm and everything in the carburetor. Then on the throttle here, you have this big end here. Oh, there's a big end here, and you spin it around. Well, I guess on this one there it's the same. Some are big on one side and small on the others, so you only can put that on one time. But this one's actually a universal one. So we'll put the throttle on. Then there's like a little ring up here where that throttle sits on. And you gotta line up that hose in the back. There we go. Now we can, I'll go another side here. Hook up them fuel lines. And I hear a lot of my comments, well, which one goes which way? Well, the one on top, if you push primer bulb, it shoots the gas out. That's your return line, and the other one's your pickup line. I don't think that. You gotta get that around that ring up on top. There we go. Now there's like a ring that goes around here, a channel where that throttle cable goes in. Make sure that's all working properly before we put everything together, then don't tear it apart again. We'll go ahead and set that on there, grab our little nuts on here. Make sure they're nice and tight. I'm gonna blow out that filter, get all the dust off of it. And if that foam's like starting to disintegrate and stuff, that's time to replace it. Well, these Stihl felt filters, they last a long, long time. Let's see which way this goes on. There we go. Alright, well, let's put this new plug in. It had a Bosch plug in them, a really good plug, but I like NGKs. And these here, they take a CMR 5H. We'll get this started up. Kind of fine tune it. I think we should take it out to my weed patch of a garden. See how it does. Been so busy in here, but lacking on the weeding of the garden. I'm gonna take it off the stand here. Put some of the stuff away real quick so it don't vibrate off the table. Leave my little screwdriver for mixing the fuel. Okay, let's put it on the start position. Turn the choke on. Well, that don't sound good, does it? Well, that don't sound too bad. Well, I think we should go try it out in the garden here real quick, see what happens. Okay, we're here in kind of like my little weed patch of a garden. Let's try this thing out. Well, everything seems to work pretty good. Anyways, thanks for watching the video, and if you like my videos, please press the like button and please subscribe. Anyways, you have a good day. Thanks for watching.